Hey y'all, we in nature using my camera super zoom. Ooh, that is crispy. Image crispy. Image crispy. Y'all, I am filming a nature documentary. Ooh. He's just yawn. You know what? Is really, this is, I don't know if this is yoga or what, but like it's a good workout. It's to try and get your legs up and out while you're sitting. You have to balance, you gotta use your core, you gotta be flexy, you gotta be a bendy babe. Oh, oh, yeah. Hello YouTube, it's me KJ. Welcome to the video. Today, I'm gonna be telling you how to live alone without being lonely. So I wanted to film a video on my first year in California, but you know, we're coming up on a year and a half at this point, and I still haven't filmed a video. So I've decided to just talk about my experiences and the things that I've learned in my time living here freely and openly. And if you can like piece together my overall first year, good for you. We're just gonna do what we're doing out here. The sun is like directly in my face right now, and I think it's helping you guys see me, but it's not helping me see you. Okay, so I'm just gonna take you like through my months living here and what I learned in the first year and how you can apply that to your life living alone. So this was my first time moving out of my parents' house. I did live in a dorm for the first year of college, but it was an hour away from home, and I had literally roommates like in the room, so I was very much not alone. Now I have moved all the way across the country. I'm from Georgia. I am now in LA and California. Georgia's above Florida, to those of you who are not geography girls. So I'm literally across the country from everything and everyone that I had ever known before, and it's gone pretty amazing. So I just want to share how you can maybe do that for your own life as you are embarking on your new journey, or your, long-standing journey that isn't going too hot, of living alone. Tip number one, I guess, would be to know that it's going to be stressful and lonely at times. To just go into the experience knowing that and expecting that, so that when that happens, it's not really anything, If you know that it rains sometimes, when it rains, you don't really freak out because you know that it rains. So if you know that this isn't necessarily going to be amazing 100% of the time, you'll be good. You'll be golden. Me, when I was first planning to move, that was one of my biggest fears, was just going somewhere where I know no one and being lonely. It happens. Humans are social creatures. We need interaction. But I think because I prepared myself so much for the possibility of that happening, not so much a possibility, but it just felt very realistic and honest to me. When I came here and when I started to feel lonely, I was able to feel those feelings without feeling like I failed or I needed to run back home or I was a loser. I was able to just feel that way and act accordingly. I was able to move past it with tips that we're going to go over in just a second here in the video. But just knowing what I was getting myself into made it much more calm and collected when I did actually end up getting into those feelings. My next tip, and probably the most obvious one, is to get comfortable with yourself and with being alone. I have always been a bit of a lone wolf character. I've always had friends. I've always lived with my family prior to this moment. But I've also always been good at just going in my room and staying in isolation for 12 hours. I've been good at going out by myself. And that is something I've gotten a lot better at since moving, because there's just so much more new stuff to try. These squirrels, there's just so much more new stuff to try. But like, if I want to do something and I don't have anyone to go with, there is not even a second thought in my mind. I'm usually just like, all right, then I'll go alone. sometimes it's my first inclination to go alone, and someone else ends up getting tagged along in the end. But really, just do things by yourself. Just be by yourself. For some people, that is a skill that needs to be learned. Some people are very social creatures, so being by themselves feels new and strange. But it is important. Humans are social creatures, but also you're the only one who has you. You were all that you had when you came into this world, and you will be all that you have when you leave. And sometimes in the middle of that process, you are all that you have. So if you can't enjoy time with you, what really can you enjoy? You're literally always with yourself. Sometimes it helps me to think of myself as another person. I kind of developed two parts of myself that exist in my head, kind of. And I acknowledge that they're both me, but I think of them as two different people, so I feel like I have this dialogue with myself. And there's kind of a part of me that is pained and hurt and self-deprecating and not always super happy. And then there's the part of me that knows my worth and knows my value and loves me and cherishes me, the other me, and consoles me. The other me being also me as a whole, like all three of us, but just me, we're all the same, but And so through having this kind of character of myself that I talk to, I've come to understand myself a bit better. And then I feel like I literally engage with myself. It's like I'm getting to know someone, but I'm just getting to know me. Does that make sense? Y'all might think I'm crazy. I'm not. I just know myself. If it doesn't help you to talk to yourself, that's fine. But find something you like doing enough that you can do it alone. And recognize that people are not watching you. People truly don't give a shit. Like, they don't care at all. I don't know. Whenever I would go out to eat alone, because I love me some breakfast, love me a brunch, and sometimes girls are busy. Whenever I go out to eat alone, I would feel like people are watching me. People think I'm a loser. People think I'm weird. But deadass, nobody cares. Think about it. Have you ever seen somebody eating alone? Most of your answers are no, but it's not like people haven't been there eating alone. And if you have seen someone eating alone, did you think that they were a lame-ass loser? Most of the time, your answer is no. But follow-up question. If you did think they were a lame-ass loser, did that affect their life at all? Did anything that they were doing or feeling change because of what you thought? So why would that matter with other people? Why would other people notice you? Why would other people think you were lame? And if they did think you were lame, what does that change? What does it change? So in moving here, I've expanded the amount that I connect with myself and the amount that I'm willing to do stuff by myself, because you kind of have to. You're going to be alone when you first move. You're not going to know anybody. Even if you do know somebody, it's not good to be completely codependent on one person. So you're going to have to kind of spread your wings and expand a bit, and that might lead to some periods of isolation and solitude because things just might not be working out. So being comfortable and happy with being with yourself is an amazing help in getting through this. But just because you like being alone doesn't mean that you're never going to feel lonely. So you need a little bit more than that. About 3 months into me moving here, I started to feel lonely. I, didn't have any friends anymore that, were nearby. Even a lot of my friends from Georgia, it wasn't the same. We couldn't talk all the time. It wasn't the same. And I just was missing a lot of connection, which you might be feeling. I felt like I wanted to feel loved by people, which is normal. Friends, family, and romantic love is all a big part of life. I wanted to feel loved by people, and I wanted to have people to love, and I just didn't. Nobody was around. And so that's where the next 2 tips came into play for me, and that is to, number 1, do new things, and number 2, put yourself out there. So doing new things for me kind of came naturally because I was in a new place. Some of you might not be in a new place. You might have just moved out down the street, and to that I'd say go visit home. But to those of you who are in a new place, you might find, oh, there's a beach here where there wasn't a beach in my old town. Let me visit this beach. Or, there's restaurants here. There's restaurants everywhere, but let me see what these restaurants are talking about. Let me try a new sport. Let me try a new hobby. Let me try a new activity. Let me just get out there and do something I like. And maybe along the way you'll meet someone. Maybe you won't, but maybe you will. And even if you don't meet anybody, it's a nice way to entertain yourself and distract from how you might be feeling lonely because you're too busy getting really involved in this new thing that you've come to love. So get out there and try something. When I moved here, I started learning how to roller skate, which was super fun and required a lot of focus so that I would not fall and bust my whole body up. I got into hiking, which I'm still into. I am really, really hoping that this winter, springtime-ish, I can get up my first mountain. But I got into hiking, which there's plenty of hiking communities on like Facebook Marketplace and Eventbrite and stuff. Facebook Marketplace and Eventbrite are your friends. If you want to go out and like do things in a group, do it. Like, you'll find people. I got into traveling more, as you may have noticed, and even in my travels, I've met people, and it's just been casual, one-day conversations. But when you're lonely, sometimes just that talking to somebody for an hour in this new coffee shop that you decided to try out can mean a lot to you. I got a new job, so I made new coworkers, and I have made friends with some of them, and we've, hung out outside of work, and it's been fun. Trying new things can really connect you with new people, but if you're in a position where it doesn't connect you with new people, the next way is to just connect with new people. Use Facebook groups or Eventbrite to find groups that are hanging out, go to these kinds of events. You can also use meet people sort of apps. I used Bumble, BFF. And the key with that is that you really have to put yourself out there, because think about it from your perspective. Someone invites you to hang out, you might think that you're going to be awkward or that you're not going to be any fun, or you're just socially anxious, you don't want to go, or you go and then after that y'all never hang out again because they never bring it up, but you never bring it up, and you're just feeling like, am I allowed to bring it up? Like, do they even want to talk to me? Should I have to be the one to bring it up? Like, why don't they ever reach out? But we've literally only hung out once. Like, it just feels like so much. It can just feel like so much. And so it helps if you put yourself out there, because you take that so much feeling off of someone else and you allow them to just fit in where they want to fit in. And some people are going to want to fit in as your friend. Some people aren't. Some people are just going to, fall to the wayside, and that's literally fine, because you'll find the people that want to be your friends. For me personally on Bumble, I found that girls weren't really wanting to talk to me on the app. So what I did was any girls that had their Instagram in their profile, who I thought like we could be compatible, mostly black girls around my age, I just collected a list of Instagrams. I had like 10 Instagram handles. And one day I just started a group chat, and I was like, hello, we're all on Bumble, let's make some friends. And I started talking to the girls, and some of them fell off, some of them it didn't work out with, some of them things just got complicated. But at the end of the day, I developed 2 friends from that. And those friends have introduced me to more friends who have introduced me to more friends. And now I have a whole big group of like 10 friends out here. I never had that many friends in Georgia. So it was just a matter of putting myself out there. Number 1 is starting the group. Number 2, in keeping chatting consistent. Number 3, in asking people to hang out with me more than once. And number 4, in not allowing myself to feel like I always reach out, they should reach out. I do not allow myself to feel like that unless it's been like a year. Give people some time to get used to you and to care about you. Because before that, you're just having basic social interaction. So expecting too much from them is really just going to put you in a bad position. So really put yourself out there, and it's hard, especially for introverts or those who are socially anxious. It can be difficult, but it's just something you have to do. It's just something you have to push yourself to do. Because if you don't, you're going to remain lonely. Like, that's just the matters of the facts and the facts of the matters. And it's also something you get better at with time. I have seen that in practice. I used to be so scared of meeting people, like literally shaking in the car, losing it with nervousness. Like, couldn't even. And now a year and a half later, I truly don't care. I go on dates, I go on new friend dates, I meet new people, I talk to people in the store, and it's just super casual now because I've just done it so much that I've allowed myself to finally get used to it. So it's going to take some time of being uncomfortable and of really stretching your limits. But if you can get through that, which you can, you will make those connections and you won't be alone anymore, and then your problems will be solved. So, I went on Bumble, I made new friends. I started hiking and skating and just getting out of the house, not just sitting alone in my room all the time. Months and months passed. I started making connections with people. I started to feel like I had something, and the more that I got used to living life this way, the more that I realized two things, which are my next two tips. Number one is things don't happen immediately. You have to kind of be patient with people. And number two is that you've got to take advantage of your newfound freedom. For some of you, it might not be new. You might have lived on your own before. This might just not be going that well. But to those of you who are new to it, there is something to not having to do what your mom and dad say. Like the first day that it was like 11 p.m. and I was hungry and I could just get in my car and go buy Wiener Schnitzel and nobody looked at me funny, nobody said nothing to me. I didn't have to explain myself. I didn't have to eat the food that was already in the fridge. I was able to just do what I wanted to do. That's unique. That's a unique experience, and I think you need to take advantage of that. You need to really realize the position that you're in and how this is what you've been wanting. Most people have been wanting this independence since they were born, basically. Most people, as soon as they understand things, are like, yo, when I'm a grown-up, when I'm a big kid, when I'm older than I am now, everything's going to be better. And now you're older. Now you're older. So don't fall into the trap of feeling like, oh, I should have stayed a kid, because you're already here. You're already here, so just go ahead and enjoy it. And number two is to be patient, because in your process of enjoying it, you might realize things are not exactly what you want them to be straight away. You know, a couple of months with my new friends, I was like, you know what? I don't feel like I'm best friends with anybody. I don't have that super deep connection with any of these people that I had with my friends in Georgia that I was friends with for 10 years. Why is that? Maybe because it's been a few months and not 10 years. And I just need to be patient. I just need to let these relationships develop as they develop, and let myself develop as I develop in this newfound situation of independence and freedom. Oh, girl, the wind preying on our downfall. But I just need to let everything kind of happen as it happens and just be along for the ride. Because this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I wanted. I wanted to move here. I wanted to get more comfortable with talking to people. I wanted to meet more friends. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to try living on my own. I wanted this. So I'm just going to be patient, let the process unfold, and enjoy every step of it as I'm in that step. And I advise you guys to do the same thing, obviously. If you're enjoying this video, which you are, be honest, you are, please scroll down just a pinch below the video and click that button. It might be red unless YouTube changed the UI for the 50,000th time, but it says subscribe on it. So just click that. It will help me out a lot. It really would. My channel could use the additional engagement. I really appreciate it. And I would also appreciate if you would leave a comment and let me know if there's anything I'm forgetting. Let me know if there's anything that the other girls who are living alone, be it for the first time or for a kind of rough patch time where they need YouTube's help, let them know anything else that you've picked up in your journey and in your process. And my final tip is one that I think about when I think about buying a house in California, because to those of you who don't know, I'm from Georgia, where houses cost like $250,000, and now I live in California where houses cost like $1 million, literally not an exaggeration. Like, I work at a real estate brokerage. The cheapest you're gonna find a house is $500,000 for like a 1-bedroom condo, and 1-bedroom condos here are just apartments. It's just an apartment with a mortgage. Like, it's an apartment building. You have neighbors on every side. It's just an apartment with a mortgage. So $500,000 for an apartment. Or, you know, if you want like a standalone house, yeah, that's gonna run you at least $700,000 at least. And that's for like a raggedy house in a raggedy neighborhood. A good normal house, $1 million. $1 million. So every time I think about California real estate, I remember this tip in my head, and it brings me peace. It brings me calm and tranquility. And it might be something else that you think about that makes you want to remember this. Or maybe you haven't even moved yet and you're just scared, and that's where this tip can come into play for you. But it is that you can always leave. You can leave. This is not forever. If you want to go to another place, if the place that you moved isn't working and your lease is up soon and you want to leave again, leave. Leave, move elsewhere, go back to your hometown, go back to your parents' house, go live with your friends for a week and see if that makes you feel better. You're not tied to wherever you decide to move. You can leave. What's your lease? A year? 18 months? 3 years? Whatever the case may be. When that lease is up, pack your shit and go. You can leave. It's not the end of the world. You're not stuck here. So don't be so afraid of it, because even if it's lonely, even if it's bad, even if it's sad, even if it's terrible, it might all just be a learning process, so that when you pack up and leave this misery, you know what to do better next time. And that is all I have for you guys in this video. I have really enjoyed my first year and a half in California. It's kind of losing its wonder, but I'm trying to reinstate that wonder and just keep myself happy and focused. So as I continue on with my journey, I will share more things that I learn with you guys, but so far these steps have really made me come a long way in my relationships with other people and in my relationship with myself, and that has helped me tremendously in being happy and healthy through this.